Well, thank you. And I would like to thank Malin Björk for her draft report. I think that, well, it is not true that we are creating a new category of visas, since humanitarian visas have been existing in national legislation for years. Many member states had that category. And of course, that was very important because it allowed refugees to apply for asylum directly in consulates and embassies when needed. And well, I can tell you, in my country, in Spain, the humanitarian visas existed and worked very well until 2009. And now we still have that in our national legislation, even though now it has been more restricted, but we do have that. So is there a need for a European framework about that? My answer is yes, and that is why I think the request to the Commission to initiate legislation about that comes at a very important moment. And why is that important for women particularly? Because we know, and we have been analyzing that in that committee during the last term, we know that the routes that migrants have to go to come to Europe via mafias, via smugglers, are particularly affecting women in many fields. And of course, this is an issue that has a very strong gender perspective. The non-existence of safe routes to Europe is something that affects particularly women, because we know that in their routes they are sexually assaulted, beaten, they suffer sexual and violence, and this is something we need to address. So that is why I think it's an important report. It has absolutely a gender perspective, and at the end of the day, we need to think about Parliament. What role do we want to play in the debate about refugees at the EU level? We know what is coming up in the next European Council. We will not be talking about the reform of the heads of state of government will not be talking about reform of Dublin, apparently. They will not be talking about creating legal routes and channels for refugees. What we know from the leak of yesterday of the conclusions of the European Council is that the main topic will be the disembarkation platforms. Nothing more, nothing less. And I think that the Parliament, that has been calling in many times during the last years in the plenary in favour of safe routes, we have to continue playing our role, saying that our objective and that our position in relation to refugees and migration is that we want a European answer, we want the reform of Dublin, and we want the establishment of legal routes for refugees and for refugees at EU level. And humanitarian visas is an important tool for that. So that's why I think it's a very important. It's a very important topic, a very important report. I think the approach of Malin Björk is totally correct, and I can only say that we will try to cooperate with her in order to have the best text possible. Thank you.